What you're looking at is the People 250, a scooter by Kymco, a Taiwanese-based company. And Eric Bondi's here. Welcome to Two Wheel Tuesday. Good to have you.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Tell us about Kymco, first of all. Where are they based? How long they've been around? What kind of products do you guys manufacture and sell?
Sure. Kymco's actually been in existence since 1963. They're based in a small community in Kaohsiung, Taiwan. They've been exporting scooters primarily worldwide since 1963, so that's really their core business is scooters. Since about 2000, we've been importing Kymco-branded scooters and now motorcycles and all-terrain vehicles into the United States.
And how's it been going for you guys?
Business is unbelievable. I tell you, we're just seeing a tremendous insurgence in dealer growth. We're finding a tremendous amount of new dealers in our business, and we're gaining some popularity with consumers.
So you started bringing scooters in 2000, and a couple of years ago you had a little bit of a change. You brought a road bike into the United States. Tell us about that.
We did. Kymco primarily produces for their Asian market as well as the European market. They've got a very strong following in both of those, and they developed a 250 V-twin to be used primarily again in the Asian and European markets. We took a look at it and thought there might be a nice niche segment in the United States, so began importing it about 2 years ago.
You know, my next question really kind of blankets the entire industry. We've seen on Two Wheel Tuesday features about these Chinese motorcycles and these scooters and little bikes that are coming in. Where does Kymco fall in the, I guess on one end of the spectrum you have the big four, the Japanese manufacturers, and then you have these Chinese imports that are getting a lot of people into it. Where does Kymco fall in that range?
We really try to fall right in between. We're a value-priced manufacturer, meaning that we're not as competitive with the big four as we see on price and features and benefits, but we do offer a very high-value product, high-quality product. And that's really what we're trying to focus on importing is a very high quality into the marketplace at a value price.
Now, I see two key factors that would keep Kymco in the United States. Number one, I think, is your dealer network, and the dealer network would include parts distribution. How is that going for Kymco since 2000?
Actually, it's going very well. One of the things that I think the company did extremely well, before we started importing product, we set the infrastructure in place to bring parts and accessories into the United States, so we have them readily available for all dealers. We can get just about anywhere in the United States in 3 days' time, so we carry a very high quality, a high number of parts as well.
That's great. Okay, the other thing that I see is, Honda, Suzuki, Kawasaki, Yamaha's involvement in the world of motorcycling. They sponsor a variety of events, everything from riding events, charity events, races, obviously. They have riding groups, that are Honda Red Riders, for instance. Does Kymco have a plan to really integrate themselves into the U.S. motorcycling culture, or are you guys here just to sell, units?
Well, not only do we have a plan, we've actually implemented a plan. We've been sponsoring some superbike teams. We've got a cross-sponsorship with Corona, been going now for a couple of years. So we've been working on the motorcycle side of the business. In addition, we attend and sponsor a great number of scooter rallies. And you were talking about Daytona earlier on the show, and while scooter rallies certainly are nothing like Bike Week at Daytona, they share a tremendous passion, and they do get very well attended.
All right, for those people that are not interested in scooters, you have a rather unique starter bike. Tell us a little bit more about this 250.
Well, the VNOX 250 is exactly that. It's a starter bike. It's a V-twin 250, puts out 28 horsepower. For those people that, as you mentioned earlier, were vertically challenged or perhaps small in stature,
yeah.
It's a great starter bike. It's great for also inexperienced riders. Very easy to maintain. It's got large tires on it, so it's very easy to handle. We've been real impressed with the performance so far.
What about hopping these things up aftermarket? Are there any aftermarket parts available for a bike like this?
There are. There's some pipes that can be made to or purchased to make it go a little bit faster. There are also some engine modifications that can be done to get some more horsepower out of the engine. In your opinion, what are going to be the keys for Kymco to be successful and stay in the United States and really build a good, solid consumer base saying, hey, look, we're going to stay a while, we're going to have parts available? What do you see as the key factors for that? That's a great question, and I think first and foremost, it's a very strong dealer network. We've been working the last 4 or 5 years in building a strong dealer network, incorporating much more what I would consider to be better business people that are power sports business people. And so we've recruited a pretty good, solid dealer network we're continuing to build. I think, again, to get consumers and get word-of-mouth advertising also makes a big difference for us. As I said, with the passion of scooter people, the word-of-mouth travels very fast, and we're starting to build a big following in the consumer base.
As for the four-wheelers that you offer, tell us really briefly, because we're running out of time, about that product.
Sure. Anywhere from 50cc on up to now coming with a 300cc, all four-stroke engines in the larger displacement. Again, a great product line.
All right, and where can people get a hold of you? Where can they find out more about your products?
Well, website is www.kymcousa.com. We've got dealers all over the United States, and pretty easy for us to find.
All right, well, Eric, thank you so much for coming. We really appreciate it, and good luck. We'll be keeping an eye on Kymco for sure.
Great, thanks so much for having me.
Sure. All right, now it's time to take a commercial break. Coming up, how did Ben Bostrom do in World Superbikes? And some history was made in Supercross later in the show. Stay with us on Two Wheel Tuesday.